Hello everyone, welcome. It's Friday today. We're getting into the month of August now and it's very, very good. Middle of the summer holidays. We must bring Mrs. Sardines and Mini Sardines out and we'll try and get a video with them in the next few days. But in the meantime, I want to go back to basics a little bit. I think we'll leave all the politics, unless we've got something that really cannot wait. I think we're going to hold on and leave it all up to them. We're going to bring you some more celebrity quotes today, what they're saying about Am-Dram, about what they're doing, advice they're giving people like us. And we're going to start with Michael Ball. Michael Ball told us, we asked for if there's a secret recipe for staying on top. And Michael said to us, I don't think you can ever sit back and rest on your laurels, partly because this world moves so fast that you don't want to ever lose your step on the ladder, and partly because you don't want it to turn into a lazy, overconfident fellow. I love what I do. I would never want to do anything else, and I think I work pretty hard at it. I don't think there's a secret really. A lot of it is about focus and determination and working in harmony with other people. And he's one of the nicest people there is in the industry. We spoke to Suggs, who's the lead singer of Madness, famously. So obviously we spoke to him about Our House, the musical, which is very popular with amateur societies out there. And I've been in Our House myself. Mr. Pressman I played, by the way, as well as lots of school kids and ensemble. Suggs told me, I think it's a great show firstly, and also great for ensembles because everyone gets a bit of a go. When we set about working with Tim Firth writing the book, we were very keen that we didn't just want an office party sing-along-a-thon. Not suggesting that any other rock musicals are without naming names, but there are. We all know the jukebox guilty parties. So we wanted quite a complex and dramatic theatre production, and I think that's what we got. I think that's what made it so popular, and obviously our songs are pretty perennial. They keep getting played on the radio, so each generation gets to hear them. The songs we wrote are also very narrative, so they lend themselves to a good story like this, and that's true. I think it's a mixture of all those things, and if you go and see Our House, you've got to agree with all that. It's a very good story. Bit of a sliding doors type story, isn't it? Two alternative futures. Now, you know Bonnie Langford, someone else who's very popular with a lot of you out there, a lot of musical theatre lovers. She made her stage debut. She didn't get time to do anything with Am-Dram because she made her stage debut at the age of 6 years old in Gone with the Wind after winning Opportunity Knocks. But during her stage debut, Noel Coward, who was in the audience, said of the horse that emptied his bowels on stage, stealing all the notices, if they'd shoved the child's head up the horse's arse, they would have solved two problems at once. Unbelievable, isn't it? And there's Bonnie Langford, who went on after Gone with the Wind to be in Gypsy, Cats, Pirates of Penzance, Me and My Girl, it goes on and on. Sweet Charity, Guys and Dolls, Chicago, Spamalot, 42nd Street, it goes on and on and on. And she's also been in the film Bugsy Malone. On TV she's played Just William. Wasn't it Violet Elizabeth she was in? I'll scream till I make myself thick. So I think that was it. And she was very young there. Doctor Who she's been in as an assistant. She was in the Lena and Bonnie TV show with the tragic Lena Zavaroni, who's no longer with us. Dancing on Ice. EastEnders very famously just a few years ago. She was in for a big old stint. And she's also got four very famous nieces in theatre. Scarlett Summers, Easy and Sassy Strallen, her sister's daughters. And she gave us some brilliant advice when we met her. And she said to us, immerse yourself, work hard at it and see where it leads you. So just work hard and immerse yourself in it. Don't think of anything else. And that's not really having a plan, is it? That's just being good at what you do. Now we want to talk about Dave Willetts here. Dave Willetts is one of those 1 in a million stars. He's played the lead in Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera, probably two of the biggest shows in the West End, and he's played the lead in both. And he came straight out of Am-Dram, amateur theatre, non-professional theatre, grassroots, whatever you want to call it. He came straight out of that and in to the West End. And I'm going to go a little bit backwards and forwards in time here. but I'll explain what I'm doing. So Dave says of amateur theatre, amateur theatre is the backbone of this country. You can go anywhere, any night of this week, and see something by somebody. I've been there and done it. That's how I started, and actually that's how most people in our business started. The enthusiasm is everywhere. I mean, the 10,000 plus societies around the country can't all be brilliant, can they? But they've all got one thing in common, and that's their enthusiasm. You can't knock it. And that's right, isn't it? And he is right. They can't all be brilliant, and some of them aren't brilliant, but everyone is enthusiastic. When you go and see some of the societies, you think, my God, that would stand up on any stage, and that's where he came from. Now, let me see. Okay, I'll just read it as it is in here. My wife and I gave ourselves 3 years for me to stay in business. That was our kind of master plan because we had 2 young daughters at the time. So we said, okay, let's do it as a joint venture. I gave my company car in, Bupa membership, worldwide travel expenses, etc. Lynn took a second job as a waitress and we bought a couple of second-hand push bikes. I was playing third flunky from the left in Annie at the Belgrade Theatre in Coventry. This is when he got into the profession, when he just got in. I used to cycle to the railway station, chain up my bike, get on the train, go and do some waiting on tables at the National Exhibition Centre, come back, get on my bike, cycle to the theatre, do the show, come home and repeat that for a month. But it was a big adventure. You're doing something that you love. You're being paid for doing it, doing your hobby. I mean, what more could I ask for? And we are all doing our hobby. That's why we're called amateurs, and we're doing something we love, aren't we? Like most of your readers, see, Dave knows all about it. Like most of your readers are doing. I had a job during the day and was in the world of amateur theatre in the evening. It was purely for my relaxation. I loved doing it. It was a social thing, and you met some lovely people doing your hobby. I always liken it to playing football on a Sunday morning. You always dream of playing at Wembley, but it never happens, or it always happens to somebody else. And it happened to Dave. I was doing a show at the Priory Theatre in Kenilworth, Warwickshire, which is an amateur theatre group. The show was called Charlie and Algernon. He got some good reviews in the papers, and the local critic suggested to the artistic director of the Belgrade in Coventry that he should go and see this bloke in this show, and he came along and gave me the opportunity to go into the business with their forthcoming production of Annie. I don't know if that happens anymore. You haven't been to drama school. Dave has never had a day's training in his life, never been to drama school. I wouldn't have been selfish enough to just come home and say to Lynn that I've given everything up and I'm going to do this because I've already said we had 2 young children and we had to live. I had to earn some money, so again there was a pressure, and we did this as a joint venture. You've got to go into it with your eyes wide open. You've got to have a plan. So we gave ourselves 3 years, and lo and behold, within 12 months I was playing Jean Valjean in Les Mis. So after Annie, the next big production at the Belgrade was going to be Grease, in which they'd given me a small role. So I'd signed the contract, but in the meantime I'd seen an advert for the stage for open auditions for the forthcoming production of Les Miserables. And Les Miserables, this is the original production. It had never been on before. So no one knew what it was like, and didn't the critics pan it in the first week? If only they knew what was coming. I didn't know anything about it at all, but what caught my eye was that it came under the umbrella of the RSC and was directed by Trevor Nunn. So I thought I'd throw my 2 pennyworth in at the auditions and go down to London. I couldn't wait to audition for Trevor Nunn, but when I arrived he wasn't there. He was just the MD, so I sang my song, and the next day I got a call from my agent saying that they would like me to go back, and this time Trevor was there with Cameron McIntosh, Claude Michel Schonberg, Alan Boubil, etc. So I sang a couple of songs again, and Trevor said, "That was great, Dave. I wonder if you could sing this for me." And he thrust a sheet of music in front of me and said, unfortunately, Trevor, I don't read music at all. But he said, "That's all right. Come round the piano and we'll get Martin to play it for you." So Martin played out the tune, and it was Jean Valjean's soliloquy, "What have I done?" from the show. When he finished, Trevor was about to speak, and I said, "Don't say anything, let me do it while it's in my head." When you don't read music, you tend to have a good ear for what you hear, so I did it, and afterwards he said, "You're in." Fantastic, if only that happened these days. I had to go then to be back to the Belgrade and say, although I signed I had to then go back to the Belgrade and say, although I signed a contract, I got the opportunity to do this thing in London, and bless him, I can't thank Bod Hamlin, the artistic director, enough. He opened the drawer, took out my contract from the desk, and he ripped it up in front of me and said, good luck to you, off you go. Amazing. And a year after that, I'm moving up the road, I'm playing Phantom. I was doing Les Mis when Phantom opened with Michael Crawford. Then when he took the show to Broadway, I took over from him. And Dave Willetts has just been giving out prizes at the NDFA, that's the National Drama Festivals Association, NUDFA, at their All Winners Final, which is in Coventry. Unfortunately, they had to cancel all sorts of workshops and things, courses going on alongside the festival itself, and one of them was this workshop which was Les Mis in a day. It was Dave Willetts running a Les Mis workshop, going back to his amateur theatre roots, but he did give out some prizes, which is fantastic. And Dave Willetts also talked about going back to his roots, and he realised that's where his first love was, and where he considers that he belongs on the amateur stage, which is fantastic, isn't it? It's something doing what he loves, but he gets paid for it now, which is fantastic. Anyway, that's in our latest issue. So if you want to read this issue, you just need to go onto our website and get it. All the NUDFA stuff is there, and Rod Innes Chater, beg your pardon, who's the chair of the All Winners NUDFA subcommittee and is on the NUDFA National Council. He wrote a brilliant piece for us about the All Winners Festival Week. Unfortunately, I think in the government's 4-week delay to ease in lockdown restrictions, NUDFA's week fell in that 4-week period, and that's why they had to cancel all sorts of stuff. They had to do their thing at the Albany Theatre, socially distanced, and it caused them all sorts of headaches, but they have found a venue that's very central in the country, and they might be going back there. But as I say, it's all in this latest issue, so why don't you get it and have a look, have a read. But anyway, there we go. Stay safe, stay well, have a lovely weekend. We are back. See you later, bye.